Hello everyone, this is a
Resident Evil.
no-death playthrough of Resident Evil HD Remaster. On Invisible Enemy mode. I'm playing as Jill. So as per each, after we get done talking to the old gang, we're going to just straight up get into the gameplay pretty much. Skipping through all these cutscenes here. Alright, so finally, now we're into the main game. So, Invisible Enemy mode, which is aka called Man mode, is a difficulty in Resident Evil where, obviously, all enemies are pretty much invisible. Like, literally every enemy is invisible. Pretty much. But besides that, it doesn't count if there's stuff like dust kicking up off of the ground, or, you know, you seeing activity, like you seeing drool coming out of enemy's mouth. That doesn't count. What does count is the enemy pretty much being invisible. But certain things like activity, like you seeing dust or whatever, it does not count. So you can see certain activities depending on which enemy is, whether it's hunters or dogs or not. And also auto aim is turned off, so you have to go all about it with no auto aim. But you can see obviously from mirror reflections that there's enemies right there in front of you. So yeah. Going on ahead and killing that zombie there. Just go ahead and shoot his ass. Put his ass on the ground. Get rid of him. Next zombie here, we're just going to down him. Or you could just take the long way, but I personally like to down this guy. Get to the next area. But once he, like, falls down, basically, we could, like, run around him quickly as possible. So he doesn't, like, lunge at us and grab us in our legs and stuff like that. So we can just straight up avoid him. But you can see there that mirror reflections do not count. You could just take the long way if you want to save ammo. So keep that in mind. You don't have to go that way, but whatever. Picking up our first dagger in that one room there. But we have to be prodigious and scarce, because not only we have to be careful, because we need to save some of that ammo, obviously for the zombies outside. Gonna go ahead and knock down all the zombies here in the graveyard here. It's gonna be very tough and hard to tell where they're gonna be at when you come out the room, so gonna go ahead and get rid of them. It's okay because we can make pretty much get rid of them. We can make those blunders to get rid of them because, you know, those guys just don't come back as Crimson Heads at all, so we don't have to worry about them, not one bit. Because they don't come back as Crimson Heads, we don't have to worry about them. they're just not gonna resurrect as a Crimson Head, like, ever. Like, their character models are naked, so, you know, the developers decided to not put them to come back as Crimson Heads, even though they're just, you know, naked, so... So we're not even gonna bother with that. Pretty much when you see blood pool popping out of the ground, that means the zombie is dead. So for my general route around the mansion, pretty much, is that I go ahead and get things done fast as possible and get things done on the first pass as much as I can at a time. Specifically because of the fact that I don't want to backtrack an area that is dangerous. Because backtracking is absolutely dangerous, obviously, for certain main reasons of ammo cut and healing route. So I'm taking the speedrun route, getting things done on the first pass. Just straight up, if I have to backtrack, I have to make sure that I am less harmless to enemies as much as possible and less vulnerable to be showing myself towards them, pretty much. Because the less I show myself, the less they're not going to get me. The enemies in this game are very random anyway. And I mean, like, not like Resident Evil 2 Remake weird randomness. I mean, like, Resident Evil... Really just this game, actually. Random. Because they have a lot of random AI patterns that are unexpected. And in that game, they just are more... They're just more weird and expecting to be random. But they're just very unexpected in this game, so it kind of actually, it's very RNG and a pain in the ass to tell a backtracking is going to be safe or not. So, yeah. Joe gets more daggers when Chris does, by the way. So there's a dagger in this bathtub here. We can just go ahead and pick that up, connect, and then we're out, pretty much. And also, we're gonna, by the way, go on ahead and do the thing. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The thing. When Barry just, you know, when Barry pops up. She gets more daggers than Chris. Gonna grab that shotgun there, and... Oh, Barry! Oh, Barry! Bring me Barry! Bring him now!
Oh, God.
In my presence. Hi, Barry. Bye, Barry. So as you can see, Barry will just straight up save you, basically, out of that room there. Basically, if you have not, if you took the path as I took here and took the exact same route path, you will pretty much will have Barry save you in that room and give you a shotgun and stuff like that. So yeah. Gonna drop some supplies in the item box here, some health and stuff like that. I went on ahead and killed that zombie right there on the steps, because he won't grab me as I'm on the steps. He'll just basically just straight up throw up on the steps. Because zombies, by the way, they throw up on steps. They don't really attack you by grabbing you on steps. So, and I also normally, as per usual, I would just kill that guy with a shotgun. But basically, this time, I'm actually going to just save that first shotgun shell for this area here, because the shotgun will always crock when you use the first shotgun shell for the first time. It'll just always crock the first shot. But sometimes on the first croc, you have to be a little aware on where the enemy is, basically, and stuff like that, so you can get your croc to work and stuff like that. But however, basically, the first shotgun blast from the shotgun, even if it's the assault shotgun you get from Richard later on, the first shot you use on an enemy will always 100% of the time croc, which is kind of unique, but you know, you gotta be careful on which enemy you prefer to croc before you prefer to croc a different enemy you don't want to croc. So, it kind of makes it a little consistent. Also, as per usual, killing these guys. The zombies out here in this area here, they're personally a little bit difficult to dodge around. So I'd just rather get rid of them. We have the lighter already, but however, I prefer to go ahead and get rid of them here, due to the fact that they are not always consistent to deal with either, personally. Because of the fact that they sometimes don't always like to cooperate whenever I come back to this area sometimes. So I'd rather get rid of them anyway. We have the lighter anyway, so we can just straight up burn the zombies and get rid of them. Get them all out of the way. But the reason why I choose that first guy to be my first croc was pretty much because of the fact that he's going to be in a weird position where that guy right there around the hallway side there is also going to be in a weird position as well too. He's going to get in the way as I'm burning that guy, and he's just going to always spin around 180 degrees and walk towards me, so I'd rather just get rid of him right there. Fine by me. Getting some cream for the lab. We're not going to need the lighter pretty much ever. We're not going to need the cream ever again. Well, not for now, but we are going to need a lighter, so gotta keep that with us. Keep the shotgun. Keep a med spray, because we need that for the dogs. And pretty much we're good here, actually. We're good. Actually, I made a mistake. We need that key. But, yeah, the first shotgun blast roll was croc. But I just went on ahead and killed that guy because he's pretty frustrating to deal with sometimes. So, him being my first enemy to croc is going to be a little worth it overall, because he sometimes does not always like to cooperate. So, had to get rid of him. Same thing with these guys. Just burning zombies and decapitating them. Not only if you decapitate them, they won't come back as a Crimson. If you burn them with Jill incendiary grenades, they won't come back as a Crimson 100% of the time at all. If you leave one inventory slot open, Barry will give you some acid rounds, which, because we're not going to really technically need them, kind of, actually, judging by the fact that this is on a normal mode, but whatever, taking them anyway. Just gonna go ahead and take them anyway. Because who knows if we need them. Alright, so gonna go ahead and get rid of the dogs here. Get an angle in a position here. It's gonna be a little tough, but kinda have to be a little sadistic on your position. Aim down. Kinda actually a little bit nervous for Jill here. She is angled in a great position. I didn't think she was like angled correctly in that wall, so kinda actually having a struggle time figuring out where I can angle her here. Because I don't want the dog to just jump at me around the corner, and I'm trying to figure out what collision box Jill is going to work on. And so there is. Pull the lighter, and we're going to wait for that little sparkly, which is actually the dog itself, to pop around the corner here, but that dog didn't take hit stun as I was expecting it to be. Because he didn't take hit stun as I expected it to be, it was kind of a little bit of epic fail. He was supposed to take hit stun there for that specific reason. I have no idea what caused him to not take hit stun there, but still killed him anyway and didn't get knocked over, but had to use a defense item, because that's what defense items are for, pretty much. He's supposed to take hits on, fall on the ground, and I was supposed to run up to him and shoot him. Pretty much. But, I ran out of the room there just so I can despawn that other dog to these other positions and stuff like that. He was supposed to, like, despawn towards this other position and shit, but that piece of shit decided to just somehow survive, but whatever. Eat a defense item, pretty much. Invincible enemy mode, it is not a mod. This is a difficulty in the main game. You could literally unlock it in the main game, pretty much. It is not a mod. This is clearly being played on a PlayStation 4, so... Granted, I haven't jailbreaked my PlayStation 4 quite just yet, so can't really tell if it's going to be needed to jailbreak it yet. But, however, it's pretty much not a mod. It's a actual difficulty in the main game, in case you didn't realize it and know. There is a Crimson Head that just got up. Ignore him. Fuck him. We're not going back in that area ever again. Because, fuck dodging around those pieces of shits and those crazy ass fat motherfuckers, pretty much. Because it's honestly not worth it. All that just to lose the run in the first 20 minutes or so. Because those guys are way too fucking frustrating to dodge in a speed run. But anywho, Invincible enemy mode, it's not too terribly difficult, basically, if you have things down to a science, if you learn your general passes from the game. Like, if you learn a lot of your general passes on the way you take with the game, it's kind of not really that much difficult. It's just difficult on enemy-wise on the way it goes. The enemies are not placed in different positions in this difficulty, depending on which difficulty you actually are playing on Invisible enemy mode. I mean, that's a different story. But you can see that as the case this time, so... no. We're just gonna unlock that door before we go to the picture room. We'll pick that up after we get done talking. Like, after we get done with the picture area. Also, due to this recording, it is actually, right now, during the time of this recording, actually October 1st. So, happy Halloween month, everybody. Hope you are spooked out for this Halloween adventure run here. So, yeah. Now, as per usual, just push the one on the right upwards, and then push the one on the left downwards, and then, you know, on the one on the right downwards, and, you know, just get the solution to this puzzle in no time. So, simple as that. But enemies are not placed in different positions on Invisible Enemy mode. It's pretty much the exact same like the new game, pretty much. So, if you know where enemies were at in the new game run, then it probably won't be too terribly hard to know how you're going to go about this a little bit on certain paths. So, yeah. Alright, after we grab the battery pack and go speak to Richard, we're gonna go get the locker launcher here. Dagger there, locker launcher. Pick up all that stuff. Also, I should mention that it does count as, by the way, no damage to even use defense items, by the way. It doesn't count as no damage if you use defense items from the back. Because if an enemy grabs you from the back, you're going to pretty much get back grab. And back grabs means you can't use a defense item, so... Because you can't use a defense item, obviously, because you just got back grabbed, you can't really do so much about that. So only if you get grabbed in the front, you can use a defense item. Pretty much your only cause, but... Just gotta make sure you pick up as much defense items as you can, just to be safe. Alright, coming over here. I'm right here. Gonna go on ahead and get rid of him. I don't know. Technically, we don't know where he's at, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult to tell where he's at most of the time. But when you see him spute and shit and throw up on the stairs, that means he's on the stairs. Sometimes he likes to be a dick and just run to the safe room and stuff like that, for whatever reason. I have no idea why. But, because it's not speedrun, I can actually take my time and learning what I'm gonna take with me, but we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of that zombie because he'll get in our way the second we go around this corner here. Second we go around the corner, the second he's gonna just straight up lunge, grab, whatever. Just fucking get rid of him. Fuck him. Because he's just gonna straight up get in the way. Not much you can do about that. You should pretty much notice that how the way the route goes for my run here is that I try to get things obviously done pretty much obviously as you can see here in a way where I'm just avoidable. Where I'm just avoidable to the point that enemies can't get me like that at all. But whenever I have to kill enemies, I don't backtrack obviously. Because, you know, if I don't decapitate them, then I have to wait until later to probably come back. Maybe if they get despawned, I can backtrack back, but obviously, you know, if I gotta kill zombies early as possible, just to get them out of my way later on, I can just be repaired. It depends if I'm going back or not. It just different types of routes and different types of circles overall, so yeah. Explain things for the most part. What else have I forgot? Oh yeah, we have 4 minutes to save Richard, by the way. So you have to go back to the save him fast as possible and get it and bring it back to him. Sounds I'm coming up here. It doesn't matter if I don't decapitate him or not. The goal is to get rid of him. Whether if I lose the defense item or not, I'm pretty much on the knees to just straight up get rid of him and get him out of the way, because otherwise I don't want him to get in the way as I'm coming up in here and using the glider, because he'll follow you up in this room here. And we're not even gonna go for that area ever again like that. We're gonna just go fight Jan and just get it over with, and he won't be in our way. So we're not to worry about him at all if he tries to come back into it. So, yeah. And for that guy, you know, just throw a defense item in his head run past them, grab the musical scores, then we can leave. Don't have to worry about them no more. And even if we didn't decapitate him, we're gonna just get this area done fast as possible before he even comes back anyway. Because he's gonna pretty much not be in our way. Because we'll get the area done fast, and we won't have to worry about him at all. Sorry, is my audio equipping again? Shit. The last Sony update fucked with my audio a lot, so obviously I apologize of certain video audio starts to skip after a while. And the game just, my screen just straight up like cuts out with different audio cords. I have no idea why it does that, and stuff. Gonna grab the wind crest there, and Zamzam coming up here, just gonna electrocute him in his ball. Get rid of him there. He's not gonna get in the way, basically, no more, because we electrocute him, but, however, might as well just electrocute him, basically, with the stun gun battery. You could use a dagger if you want, but, however, sometimes using a dagger doesn't always work on that guy. It just doesn't always work, because sometimes he just recovers way too quickly out of nowhere, and just grabs you again if you use a dagger on him, but we might as well just use defense items to get around him, because otherwise if we don't, if it comes back to Cryptid later on, we're gonna have a problem, probably, depending on what situation we go through in the mansion route. So, yeah. And you know, because the stun gun battery does not kill a zombie, we could just straight up ignore him on the way out. Just hug the wall. And hugging the wall right there will just get us around that zombie. Don't move in front of him, because otherwise he does have push priorities, and he will definitely grab you because of the fact he has quick push priorities. Or if he reacts late, he will just be a piece of shit and back grab you, and we're gonna pretty much be screwed, and the run will be over because we don't have health. Oh yeah, I forgot. So we have to go fight Yon in this playthrough. Fuck. Yon is the bullshittest enemy in this game. Like, Yon and Lisa, I think, are probably, like, one of the main reasons why this enemy might be just kind of impossible for best ending a little bit. Just a little bit. But Yon overall is a piece of shit enemy. It moves too fast, it hits you the second the game starts, you can't actually deal with anything with it. Like, no matter what you do, it's just gonna hit you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's unfair, and shitty, and trash, and horrible. Horrible game enemy AI detection hit base. It has a lot of terrible hit base. Like, it has teeth in the back of its fucking head. Terrible. Piece of shit. But I didn't grab the Steel Shotgun during this playthrough because I wanted to focus on, basically, on trying to dodge on. I just have to avoid the Steel Shotgun in this playthrough. But, however, just gonna grab the Death Mask, go around the column here, pray for the love of God, this piece of shit. Oh! Well, it looks like Yon basically just took hit stun from Richard's Steel Shotgun, so that could happen sometimes. Like, that can actually happen. Jan can take hits sent from original Soul Shotgun sometimes, and because Jan can take hits sent from original Soul Shotgun, that means we can pretty much guarantee ourselves just get around him pretty much overall, like that. So I got lucky, pretty much. It was all luck base. Just gonna pop off a grenade here. Coming up in here, gonna pick us a stingy boy up. Combine that stingy boy, that yellow stingy boy with the yellow hook. Then just pretty much put that on the wall and put the brown bee right here on the side of the wall. You could run out the room after you trigger the bee here if you want, but because if you run out the room, the bee will be right near the water plant, and it's actually better than him being at the water plant than him stinging you pretty much as you're picking this up. But you could just straight up pick it up and just leave, basically. Because he'll be in a better position if you, like, run out the room and stuff like that, but just saying that, basically, in case you're just trying not to get hit. Some acid shells here. Some med spray. I mean, not acid shells, I meant to say cindery grenades. So I was doing, like, testing during this playthrough on Order Crimson Head, basically. Just trying to see what else I can get out of Order Crimson Head on how I can cheese him. And I guess I got a little bit of things that I can figure out how I can cheese Order Crimson Head, but... So I pick up the cindery grenades, take them with me, put them in my inventory, make sure we had all 3 boxes of death mask and stuff like that. Have a med spray with me, take it with me basically for the whole session in case here. Then, you know, just have that with me for Order Crimson. I have the locker launcher. It turns out that I figure out kind of actually the hard way in this playthrough is that Order Crimson Head does not die from one cindery grenade. Because cindery grenades I always thought was just the strongest gun in this game, but it turns out they have been nerfed from the original GameCube version. So Order Crimson Head took like 3 grenades for some reason to die. I have no idea why. So that's pretty easy. Solve that puzzle there, pick up the death mask. Just gonna skate her ass down there. For some of your own reason, Jill sometimes likes to turn around. Like, she doesn't even like to stand facing at Older Crimson Head the second the fight starts. Her back just for some reason still turn around. I don't know if that's a physical enemy mode trick or whatever. But Older Crimson Head does not move the second he starts to fight. It's like if you shoot him or miss your shot, he starts charging at you. But he always takes hit stun on every shot. He takes like hit stun on literally almost every shot with his lock launch from here, it looks like. Actually, no, the Asp rounds doesn't count. Never mind. It only counts for the marshmallow rounds and the incendiary rounds. Specifically those item rounds. Gonna just wax that zombie wherever he's at. There's a stun gun battery here, some shotgun shells, just pick them up. Med spray as well too. So for the red cock, I mean rooster, I meant we're gonna send that west pretty much. And for the blue cock, I mean rooster, we're gonna send that north. So it turns out that that I actually found out that you actually can walk around the birds, actually. Like, you actually can walk around the birds. You actually don't have to worry about dodging around them. I mean, shooting them. You actually don't have to shoot the birds. You could actually just walk around them, actually. Even though I complained several times that dodging around birds is pretty much kind of frustrating, but it turns out that I actually didn't consider to realize that I have never actually considered to realize that was I even close to the birds anyway. And it turns out I actually was close to the birds, and you actually have to keep range around the birds, so because I found out that you actually have to keep range around the birds, you pretty much can't get close to them, obviously. So, it honestly made much more sense to just walk around the birds. So I reconsidered to walk around them instead of wasting shotgun shells on these birds. Easier than not knowing where they're at. So I start running around here. use the D-pad while you're walking through that room. Don't use the analog stick. We shouldn't have to use the lock launcher until we are pretty much in the... Or, we shouldn't have to use the lock launcher for, like, pretty much a while, pretty much. So, gotta throw it away. Just gonna equip the Magnum here. Take that with us for this next area here. Alright, so if you're not playing on 20 FPS, you pretty much, in order to get around Lisa, you could either dodge her and have a frustrating time dodging her, or you could just straight up use 3 mag rounds to sacrifice Lisa. Just sacrifice at least 3 mag rounds to get around Lisa. I would not recommend dodging her on non-20 FPS, because it's way too frustrating. I had to switch controllers during probably these segments here, because I had no idea what's going on with my black controller. I had to switch to a white controller, basically. I played this with a PlayStation 4 controller, obviously, by the way, so... This was pretty tricky on why my D-pad input was acting confusing. But we're gonna put the Magnum here. The dogs spawn after the cutscene. So we're gonna shoot that dog right out there around the corner, and basically, once we see Drool, that is basically when the dogs are gonna pop up. So once you see Drool, start shooting, but for the first dog, you're gonna always want to shoot him immediately after the cutscene ends. So they spawn after the cutscene, not before the cutscene. So this blue herb there, gonna pick that up. Combine all these items here, and coming up in here, I'm gonna go here first because there's a spider up on the wall. Just going to get rid of him. Luckily, I didn't get poisoned that time, but I was standing in the bad position in order to cheese him. Luckily, it was just a direct attack, and it wasn't me getting poisoned to death. So, fortunately, got unlucky. I should have just moved around a little bit more, but my mistake. Button inputs were acting very rawly here for whatever reason, but... Alright, so, coming up in here, we're going to equip the Spark Sharker, coming up into this bathroom here, so we can get ready for the zombie popping up in the bathroom. Just gonna sit right here by the sink, and just gonna use a defense item on that zombie. Sometimes, if you don't hug the wall and stand by a wall as that zombie's coming into the room, then sometimes, like, literally sometimes, like, out of nowhere, that zombie will know, like, you're trying to make wave, you're about to use a defense item. Reasons why is because... It's pretty much because of the fact that zombies actually know that... They know that their own self is invisible, by the way, in invisible enemy mode. Like, they actually know that their own self is invisible, so they know that they're not, like... They know that you can't see them, so... Because they know that you can't see them, they're actually gonna be jerks, and just basically know when you're gonna use a defense item on them, because they can obviously tell by the obviousness that you're trying to fool them. And they're like, no, 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 no. I'm just gonna go right behind your back anyway and grab you from your back, because you're trying to use a defense item on me, and they're not gonna fall for it, so we can't do nothing about it except just hug a wall. And they're gonna just straight up keep running around in the room like idiots, and just straight up see if they can just still grab you from the back. But dropping the shotgun and the crank and dropping everything in the box here. Dropping everything except the red book and the magnum. Minigun here. Actually, I need that minigun for a zombie later on. Did I? Actually, no. I needed it for a hunter. Actually, never mind. So I put the shotgun away because it's honestly not a powerful gun anyway. So I might as well only just use that on zombies. And also, I'm not gonna obviously have any magnum rounds, and I'm honestly gonna be stuck with the minigun, which I'm gonna only just use it on a hunter because there's no reason to use it on sharks. I'm just not gonna kill sharks in this playthrough because honestly, killing sharks is, especially invisible, is pretty frustrating as hell to do so. So I went on ahead and dodged them. Granted, dodging them doesn't do hardly anything on all, but however, I have found more success to not even die from it. Because sometimes, you know, you'll get hit anyway. It's like, you'll get hit anyway, no matter what you do. There's stuff you could do. Sharks are just piece of shit. There's just nothing you could do. So might as well just dodge around them, because fuck it. You don't know where they're at, so what is even the point of killing them? So fuck it. Just realized I didn't even manage to remember to bring a med spray with me. So hopefully I get hit in this room once, but did learn though that you can take this pathway and it is 50-50 if you get hit here or not. The left shark likes to be a piece of shit and just straight up hits you basically here. After you get on towards the second line right there, but it's RNG overall. Its bets are off basically, obviously, for the left shark, so. The one shark to the left, bets are fucking off, 100%. The second he gets close, bets are fucking off. So, yeah.
Emergency. Unknown source of pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety.
So first things first, hit the one on the right, hit the one on the left, blah blah blah, shenanigans, dot 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 dot. Now we gotta go put the oil pressure back in because we gotta figure out the number. We don't even have to.
Pressure threshold.
You can just straight up predict the number. We don't even have to do any fancy reading power to look at the PCA system to see what it needs to say in order to get the number. But after that, just press whatever button number and then just basically hit the one on the right, hit the one on the left, blah blah blah. Shenanigan, Marigan, potato, banana. Just get it done. And bam, thank you, man. You got your puzzle. Straight up ignore that shark. Alright, so you can either electrocute the shark or go ahead and electrocute him if you want, or you can get into the water and just straight up be a badass like I am, and just straight up dodge the shark. With using tank controls. Hashtag shout out to tank controls. They're not the OG though, but they still are OG to me. A little bit. We have a hate-in relationship, but hey, that's just me. I actually at first thought that dodge was literally scary as fuck to do, but I actually realized how generous of a window it is and how easy it actually is. So, just stuck with it. It didn't make me feel very overwhelmed doing it. It was just pretty easy. It's a very consistent dodge, so. Oh yeah, forgot. Plan 42. The combination to this lock could be anything by 5, 3, 6. Alright, so there is a puzzle solution on the wall explaining to you how to skip Plan 42, but simply as this, I'm just going to do it by colors to explain it to you, because, you know, obviously somebody's going to get confused by the number solution, that it's easy password, like it's an easy math puzzle, but however, just going to explain it by colors. We're going to combine red, water, basically together, and then we're going to pretty much, after that, combine the red and water that we make purple with. We're going to combine that together so we can make basically orange, and then after that we're going to combine the whatever we make with those orange and green, blah blah blah, that together, and then we're going to combine the red after we make blue, and blah 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 blah, and there you go, we got our V-Jolt. Simple as that. Did that make sense? Even though explaining this by colors hardly makes any sense, but whatever. Still work. I really wish I was using door skip. Wish I was playing on the PC version of this game, because the PC version of this game is a little bit more nicer. But by mixing up the Beetle, we can skip Plan 42, because Barry would just outright come into the room and pretty much save us and answer a little bit. Answer. What? If you're playing on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, do not mash the confirm button just so you can pick up the map off of the wall and put the spray can in the hole. Because otherwise, if you do examine with the hole, then if you keep mashing A after you press yes, then those bees will just jump through the wall and you're gonna get pecked to death by pissed off fucking Japanese hornets. Gonna go grab the guardhouse key, but before we do that, we have to solve this picture of the naked old lady. I didn't play this in my last run.
Barry.
Something about that mansion still bothers me. But I think I'll stay here a little longer. We should split up again and investigate.
All right. Barry.
I think I'll stay here a little longer.
So yeah, because I didn't play that in my last run, I wanted to just put that in there anyway. So after that, just gonna hit save from here, and take the lock launcher, and then we're going to take the shotgun and the shells. and the guard key, and the guard key and the medicine. Just have all those items in your inventory. Shotgun shells and handgun bullets and magnum minigun. Just have that all in the acid rounds and medicine, because the medicine is just going to prevent us from getting poisoned. But let's keep that for the snakes, just in case we get poisoned, so we can pray for the love of God we don't get hit to death. There won't be snakes popping up on this path. There's a dog sleeping right there on that side of the corner edge right there. Second dog popping up. Once we see him on the screen, where you'll see his drooling, that is basically when we just shoot, because he will be moving in the exact same straight line that we killed that other dog in, that was sleeping on the ground. So you don't have to run up towards him and cheese him. Alright. Gonna trigger these snakes. And gonna get a little lucky here. Be a little careful. Try not to get hit. Trying to be careful as I'm pumping the running button. Some snakes popping up there at the last edge at the end, spawning them. Just anytime I hear the drop sound, I'm just gonna start shooting. Waxing that snake on the other side of the corner, and after we get done waxing him to death, we are going to pretty much just dodge around the last snakes here, because those are the last snakes we have to worry about, and we don't have to worry about getting hit. Especially on the way back in and the way back out, because those snakes are easy to dodge around, as long as you're not playing as Chris with a bigger hitbox. Chris can make it that dodge too, but still, that's more consistent than any other dodge. Can't pick up that med spray or those marshmallow rounds, basically, due to the fact that we have not really space. Alright, so for the hunters here, this is going to be a little tricky. We're going to aim here, turn our age, we'll be aiming a little bit different way. And then the other hunter is about to be an idiot and just jump down around the column, and he's going to nuke his dumbass self and die. And then for the next hunter, we're just going to blast him the fuck away the second we hear his audio getting close and getting in a little bit. Just a little bit. Shouldn't have to need the magnet for a little bit of a while. but just keeping the locker launcher on me because of acid shells. Little fun fact, hunters are deaf, by the way. But here's the gimmick, because they are deaf, by the way, in this game, is that sometimes, depending on which hunter it is, if it's a brown hunter, then hunters can smell you. Hunters can see you and they can smell you. That's the only way they can track you. They can't hear you. So you can run around them all day and just, you know, laugh at their face as long as you don't touch them. Basically, they won't aggro. But the only way hunters can, like, track you the most goodest way is by smelling you. So if you're far away in a room and you wonder why a hunter's aggro on towards you, it's pretty much because they smell you. If it's a brown hunter, then they're more likely to track you down with the smell, because they can smell you, because they smell out their prey. But if it's a green hunter, it's not really likely that they'll do it, because green hunters' sniffs are not actually trained out. I like to just call the brown hunters the grandpa hunters. I like to call the brown hunters the grandpa hunters because they're more likely to be... They seem to be the most trained hunters in the game. The green hunters are the youngest hunters, the brown hunters are the grandpa hunters. Yeah, I like that fact right there, just calling them by their own names like that instead. But you can make a lot of noise as you want. As long as you don't touch them, as long as you don't, like, you don't just cause them to see you, they won't aggro on you. As long as their sniff is not that strong. Gonna ignore that spider there, just run around, pretty much, and ignore them. Simple dodge, easy dodge, simple as that. Kill you guys around. There's a dagger there, gonna pick that up! And got some somsums here. Gonna try not to get bit, but it's about as well. Pay attention to the audio. Figure out where the zombies is. But I start shooting once I hear... Pay attention to the audio, once I hear like a ganging in audio. I start shooting the button basically the second I hear like different types of audio. But I start aiming upwards the second I start hearing their audio getting in and getting close. Basically that's how the way I go with the dodge. I mean, go with the kill on those guys. Because we obviously don't want to dodge them. But, just gonna straight up kill them like that so we can get rid of them. Dagger there. Lost a dagger. You could just simply lure him around the table, but I actually slipped my mind out and realized I forgot about that. Equipping out the shotgun here. getting rid of that piece of shit, because that fucker can just straight up backgrab you the second you get near your door anyway, so fuck dodging him. There's battery pack, actual battery fuse, basically, shotgun shells, acid shells. Let's pick up all of that in here. We can go ahead and fight Yawn, pretty much. Have everything set up for Yawn. Alright, so coming up in here, just gonna push this right up there, and then we're going to... We actually don't actually need to turn that, actually. There's actually no point in turning it, because it was actually going to still be in the right position as I wanted it to be. But after that, we're just gonna push this here, and once you hear the creaking sound, that is basically where they're aggro on towards you. So because that's taking advantage of that, we're just gonna pick up the yellow jewel, run around, blah blah blah, shenanigan, and it's ours. We're out of here. We have to pick up that yellow jewel, basically there, the red jewel, so we can get best ending. Also, I haven't mentioned this, but I actually went for best ending in this playthrough, by the way, and I fought a Super Tyrant in the heliport. I don't think I mentioned that, actually. Probably sure I didn't mention that, like, hardly at all during this playthrough. That I went for best ending and fight Super Tyrant in the heliport in order to cheese him. Didn't think I was gonna need a shotgun for right now. All we need is the locker launcher and the acid shells. You could pick up the explosive rounds if you want. Just better safe than sorry. And all we need was the crank, all we need was the battery pack, all we need was the yellow cells. All the rules, and we're out of here. Ignore the hunters, just fucking ignore them, just run straight for the door, and just spam thinking, man, we got around those guys, fuck them. If you're running low on shotgun shells, you could go into that dining room and go get some shotgun shells out of there if you want. Because Barry dropped some shotgun shells for you earlier, basically. The blue jewel that was up in that banister earlier. Barry dropped that for you earlier, so... Because Barry dropped that, the reason why I think Barry basically dropped that, because he was the only one that probably, like, that was specifically around the mansion, just as you were, pretty much. Alright, so because my mind was so frustratedly on Yawn, pretty much, I went on ahead to go fight Yawn now to get it over with, because it's rather reset now or reset later. And taking that path there, we can just straight up avoid the zombies in the Crimson hallway, pretty much, the murder hall. You can just ignore them, fuck them. Just don't even bother intimidating anything with them. Because if we take that path, they're not going to get in our way. So what's the point of going over there? So let sleeping dogs off. So cupping acid shells here. It takes like 4 acid shells to kill Yawn, pretty much. But takes he just splashed like 3 acid shells on Yawn in the first phase there, and Yawn's tracking will always pop out of the hole right there, around that hole. Its tracking always goes there first. After it jumps down, it will always go there first, 100% of the time. Guaranteed 100% of the time. It will always go through this hole. Like, no matter what. It will always be right here the second you jump down. So just pretty much aim, and, you know, you got Yawn, and you killed it. You could kill it on the rooftop if you want. Actually, no, you can't actually... Yeah, I just realized it. You can't kill Yawn on the rooftop. You could blast, like, about 3 acid shells on Yawn and get 3 kills, cheap hits, basically. Just take 1 acid shell to get it. But after that, you can't really kill it. It has to be on the ground in order for it to die. So aggravated damage doesn't kill it. Aggravated nothing. Just has to be scripted to die down there. Just 100% scripted to always die down there in order for it to die. So you could just go ahead and get rid of it. Look right down there. Just don't do it on the rooftop because you're just gonna waste an acid shell. Even though acid rounds are pretty useless for the most part. We could use them on hunters because hunters die very easily from it. But because of the fact that hunters, the way I move around, I don't actually need to kill hunters because I use the speedrun dodges on hunters. Specifically because some of the speedrun dodges are literally completely 100% safe. Except for the couple that were in the first area where I actually had to kill hunters. So yeah. I was thinking about it, but don't actually need it. Because there's not going to be so many enemies I have to kill until the lab, pretty much, so pretty much good for now. Something like that. Maybe a black tiger, but not really. Not many obstacles getting in the way so far so much. So there's no point in getting some shotgun shells here, unless you really need it. Zom's coming up here. But his hunter just hold up on the D-pad and he'll just do swipe, or he'll jump up in the air like a fucking idiot and miss like he's a fucking dumbass, because he really is a dumbass. And we'll just straight up dodge around him because fuck him. You can see there, like I said, just using the speedrun dodges on hunters are pretty consistent. Because they're just straight up idiots and they're just blocking. So yeah, not much going on here. Just, really pretty much nothing. Grab the crank off Enrico. After that, just leave. Just ignore that dumbass. He's just screaming. He's bluffing. Just ignore him. Just hightail straight for the door there. For these hunters here, pretty much, as long as you take that path right there, take that angle right there, and hug the wall. Well, not hug the wall too terribly much, because, you know, geometry towards the wall can kind of actually fuck you over. But, however, that's a different case of a different discussion. However, just basically do not just basically hug the wall, honestly, overall. But just don't go into too deep into it because of the geometry. But, however, you want to be a little careful on like the way the dodge works. Basically, it's an easy very dodge. Basically, it's not too hard to fuck up on. There's also a barrier right here, basically, that's gonna fuck you over if you accidentally turn the wrong direction. There's literally a barrier right there, and like if you hug the wall. So keep that in mind. Try not to hug the barrier on accident. So for Black Tiger, you're gonna go ahead and use the rock launcher on it. Get rid of it. That acid, though, I got kind of lucky and didn't get acid all over me. But, Black Tiger can do couple things, basically. It can sometimes use its acid spit, sometimes it could just straight up charge towards the wall. All you want to do is just all you want to do is for Black Tiger just run straight for the door. And after you run straight for the door, Black Tiger will do spit attacks or just whatever. A lunge. We rather it lunge, but however, you know, just whatever it does, just don't worry about it. Just use the Magnum or use the incendiary grenades, because the Magnum and incendiary grenades will just get rid of Black Tiger very easily. Gonna solve this puzzle here so we can save up inventory space. Some of the tricks that are shown in this run, basically finding a little bit of more strats, a little bit of speedrun strats, obviously. Basically so I can get to the next area fast as possible if I had to reset a lot during this run. Especially for the millions of resets I had to do to get this run. I just want to get things sometimes over with. It's pretty much what I'm just wired to do, pretty much, so, yeah. This isn't a speedrun, but, you know, I just do some things off of force out of habit. Especially the fact that I'm wired to reset a lot off of this run. It's just force out of habit. Can't do nothing about a force out of habit, pretty much. So, yeah. I generally think something was really clunky going on with my controller. I have no idea what was going on. It was acting pretty normal today when I was playing GTA. I don't know what's going on. Acting very clumpy. just visiting the audio box, figuring out what I need to put away. And you know, same as per usual, just basically take the exact same line and you'll just dodge around those hunters. The reason why I just hug the walls is because there's a hunter right that I'm going like near its back and stuff like that. Like I'm going right upwards near the the second hunt, the first hunter's back. So I have to hug that wall so I can pass around his back so his collision box does not have some stupid push priorities. So that's basically like the main possible reason why I do it. Alright, so for Lisa here, we are going to pretty much, we're going to trigger the camera angle right there first. And by triggering that camera angle there, we can have Lisa teleport. Lisa teleports by first frames of camera angles that you change. The first camera angle you change in the room you're in with Lisa, she'll teleport. She'll 100% of the time teleport no matter what. So she teleports on every camera angle you change first in the room. So by manipulating that, we can get her to teleport where we want her to teleport, instead of having to deal with the fact of her being right in front of us and hitting us. So getting her to teleport by different sides is a better option for being on crossfire. Because her attacks are fucking bullshit and brutal. So you gotta be a little aware about that. Some stun gun battery, a magnum. You could pick up those handgun bullets up if you want, but the handgun is useless in invisible enemy mode. It's there for a couple enemies, just because a couple enemies a little bit. Gonna trigger that camera angle there, and by triggering that camera angle there, Lisa will teleport that way. And because she'll teleport that way, we could just run straight out the door and we won't have to worry about her at all. Barry. Now we're on our own for the second segment here. But because I had a previous run and did thanks to Black Tiger, coming up with some backup strats was pretty worth it overall for this run. If you played Invisible Enemy multiple times, well, if you played the main game multiple times, then Invisible Enemy mode shouldn't be too terribly difficult to understand. Because if you have things down to a science, like I said, it's not too terribly difficult to figure out where certain enemies are at, where certain enemies are not at. But coming up in here, we're going to trigger that camera angle right there, and by triggering that camera angle right there, what I'm going to do here is we're going to run out that room door right here. And I found out if you run out this room door right here, Lisa will be teleported in a better position once we come back in there So once we come back in there, she'll actually be in a better position because we triggered this camera angle back when we started off after we came back from pushing the box. Instead, she'll be in that position right there, and we could just straight up hit straight for the... After we turn the route panel here, we could just hit straight for the door. As far as I'm aware, she just straight up, like, goes the other way. She doesn't really attack. Going for this angle here, she likes to just... She turns around, but she doesn't really, like, interact so quickly, fast enough, because she's like moving in a different straight line, then she's gonna turn around, and then she's gonna come towards us. So she just turn around there completely obviously, and she was walking towards us, but she did not even bother attacking, because she was way too far away to even get us. So, honestly, that's like a better consistent way to get her to be at, basically, instead of her just hitting us and stuff like that from the other camera angle junction in the past. So by finding that whole second thing right there, like finding that off camera, just none of those were during this attempt, but however, it was just shockingly attempt, basically, to even discover that randomly, that you could actually do that. And she'll be in a better position where she won't actually hit us, actually, as we're coming through the area. So all those times where you almost got riskily hit from her from that camera angle junction there, it's all gone because she's pretty much now out of the way. Or we can just pick up that box there and left and we can leave the gate area. I also forgot to mention earlier that there was a zombie there. So keep an eye out for him because on invisible enemy mode, he has a higher chance of turning around a lot. Because like I said, they know that you can't see them, so keep your eyes on them. I actually messed up picking up that med spray there. Actually, no, I didn't. Never mind. Nope, didn't make a mistake. There's a hunter towards the west. Just ignore him. He's being a fucking idiot, wasting time. Because all they do is back up and just be fucking idiots and just scream and just hiss at you. And they just give you, like, millions of chances to just run around them. And it's like, let sleeping dogs lie. Fuck them. No point even worrying about them at that point no more because they're just being dummies. So, just ignore. Some shotgun shells out of this case. Spencer's... What is this room? Is this like a whole business room? Oh, this is his library room. I forgot that Spencer's library room. Forgot about that. And there's also a spark circle in there. I always found it weird. I don't know if this is me. That he actually had shotgun shells in his like case right there in his dresser. That Spencer literally had shotgun shells in his dresser. Like, I had no idea, I have no idea why he would have shotgun shells in this case right there. Especially before the 60 outbreak in his house. Or maybe Wesker put them there, I don't know. Because think about it. Who's that kindly to just leave ammo around here and around the areas and stuff in places just for people to pick up? Like, I don't even know if it was the Umbrella security that left it there, or just random people that were surviving in this house when they were trapped here back in the 60s. And just like 30 years later in the 90s, they're actually just like, just whoopie-doopie-doo, just randomly people just finding ammo and stuff like that everywhere. Anyhow, so basically, this is where runs come to die in a no-def run, pretty much. But, for Lisa, in the Lisa area. Gonna pick up the Magnum, pick up every ammo we have in the box, just so we can take it with us for this area here, for Lisa. It's all RNG up here on saving Barry and Lisa and protecting Joel and Lisa. Especially the fact that this is a very pain in the ass area. I think this one is like the most terrible one as well too. Super Tyrant is. So, best thing, get Barry the Magnum. Push this one first, and then Lisa normally jumps if I push this one once here. She just normally jumps when I push that once, but sometimes she doesn't always jump, which is pretty awkward and weird. I got lucky and managed to check where she was at. That was all kind of actually lucky RNG there, because I actually thought that she was gonna actually charge that Barry there, but she did. But I was able to track on how the hell I was gonna get her there. She was like backing up by that area, close area there. It's all luck in the RNG basically. So if you are gonna do this with saves, I actually recommend saving before this part here, just to get Lisa here. Because it's honestly up to RNG to get Lisa here at this next part here to also fall down that railum. But because I backed up too far away, Lisa decided to charge, and because she decided to charge and be a bitch, I came up with a quick backup strat and pray for the love of God that Barry managed to shoot her there. Luckily, Barry did shot her, and I did manage to get her in time. And also, in case you're wondering, you can kill Lisa, by the way, there. In case you're shocked, basically, you actually can kill Lisa in this game. In the GameCube version, I'm pretty sure you couldn't kill Lisa. Actually, no, never mind. You could kill Lisa in the GameCube version. Never mind. I don't actually... You know, maybe I have to check back on that. See... One of these days, I'm gonna have to get the GameCube version of this game. See for myself again and see if she like dies in the GameCube version. But it only takes, you have to use raw damage on towards her in order to kill her. So lab coming up here. Gotta pick up the lighter. Because we don't have any incendiary grenades or any mag rounds, we have to use the shotgun for almost the whole lap, pretty much. And have the lighter and the things we need to be equipped with here. I'm just gonna go ahead and burn these guys. Because I'd rather just get rid of these guys. The lab zombies come back as crimson heads. And because they come back as Crimson Heads, I have to get rid of them. And because we're playing with the most terrible shotgun in the game, we're obviously not going to get an actual good crit rate. So because we don't get a good crit rate, we actually have to really just get lucky on our crit rate shots. That's basically it. Just get lucky with crit rate shots. Because we don't have the assault shotgun, and we're not playing with the assault shotgun, so obviously our crit rate is not going to be very, it's impossible. Samson right here, getting a dagger because I can't see where he's at. And because I couldn't decapitate him, I have to burn him, basically. This is the main reason why I always keep the lighter on me and the cream on me. Because I just personally just don't feel like dealing with Crimson Heads. It's honestly not worth it. I do move in the game in a way where I don't have to deal with Crimson Heads at all, but still, I just rather not deal with it. Because one Crimson Head popping up in the area, and the run is over. Because once I come back to bring the nitroglyceride around, it's gonna be a no-no. Of one of these guys come back as Crimson Heads in this area. Seeing that guy outside, especially him. Because he'll be directly in my way, so I'd rather get rid of him. And obviously I messed up the password here. I have no idea why. I have no idea why I fucked up the password here, basically, for whatever reason, I have no idea. Of course I kept going because, you know, once again, this is not a speed run. So, John, Ada, Cell is the password solution to the lock keys here. And the next password key is free. If you type in on New Game Plus mode, you can actually get the Tofu voice from Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 2 Classic, if you know what Tofu is. Like, if you put in Mole on a New Game Plus save file, then you'll, like, get the voice of Tofu. Which is just a second beam that curses a lot whenever he's fucking getting hit in the DLC mode. But unfortunately, all the zombies in the lab, the science lab zombies, are done for, so because we got rid of them, we don't actually have to worry about them coming back as Crimson Heads ever again. And because we burned them, because we decapitate them, because we got rid of them, we don't even need the lighter ever again, pretty much, up to that point forward. All we need is the lock launcher. And the Magnum rounds. Also, hopefully you've been paying attention during this whole playthrough on why I've been picking up those cassette tapes. Because, like I have mentioned, I'm going for best ending, and if you are going for best ending, then hopefully you've been paying attention to the mansion route, and you saw me pick up the yellow jewel, and you saw where I used it. Because if you did not, then the run is over, because, well, actually not technically that over, it depending on what luck you could probably get with yet, but however, still. It could probably be over, thanks to the hunters in the one hallway that I showed earlier. Because you were supposed to pick up that yellow jewel and used it on the cassette tape in the lab. And all the 3 cassette tapes are in the lab anyway, so if you do not use it, then you can forget about going progressive and so pretty much as I usually always say, watch the video first, again, from the beginning to the end, so you get what the hell I was saying and why I do what I do. So it can all make sense into a memory muscle for later. Because if not, then you're kind of actually not going to know so much about what was the point of what I did in this run, and why I picked up what I picked up and stuff, so you can understand certain routes and certain things that will make sense so you don't make any mistakes, because if I make a mistake, then you might accidentally fall into the mistake, so yeah. But coming into this room here, we're just gonna put the cassette tape there so we can save Chris, obviously, and then we're gonna check out this camera angle. You could push the dresser out the room and stuff like that. You could just press the dresser and just leave the room that way, but however, due to the fact that that is kind of RNG, because there is a chimera that jumps through that hole so can change that camera angle. Because he pops up the second change that camera angle, you're gonna probably have a little bit of a bad time dealing with him. Because he will more likely hit you as you're getting out the room. So, yeah. Coming up in here, second chimera. I had a proximity to realize that he was on the floor, basically, the second I basically decided to just aim down there. That's why I aimed down there, because I realized he was on the floor. Basically, I realized by the sound of the audio. Because the second I didn't hear him running, the second I realized he was on the floor. So, I actually know what the hell that chimera was about to go into, pretty much there. I knew he was going to be a huge asshole and try to cheese me, so I decided to cheese right the fuck back. Chimeras are harmless, by the way. They're completely harmless depending on if they put their heads on the ground. If they put their heads on the ground, they're not harmless. They can hit you, but because their active frame starts late, and sometimes they have their legs towards the bottom of their heads, their like their legs, their knees, whatever they do, basically, just whatever. They're harmless. Just don't worry about them anymore. I only had to kill that hunter, that zombie right there, and that other chimera in that other room there. I could have killed that other chimeras, the third chimeras in the room, but because like I did in my last one, I did kill them, but I actually found out in this playthrough I don't actually have to kill them. So because I don't actually have to kill them, and because the path is completely clear, we're good to go. Like, we're absolutely fucking good to go. So we don't have to worry about any situation or shenanigans or strategies once we get the nitroglycerin and bring it here so we get all the full nitroglycerin. Just gonna knock that zombie down, basically kill him. Use the cassette tape here. Get rid of him. Put those incendiary grenades in the locker launcher. And then we can pick up the full nitroglycerin. So, I guess I should mention something kind of embarrassing, but still sad and still funny. A little bit, I guess, at the same time. Now looking back at it. I could run with the nitroglycerin in my hand, run 5 steps and run 2 steps, or if I'm playing on hardcore, I can run 3 steps and walk 2 steps. But I'm not gonna do that because I actually have now prevented myself from speedrunning this game now, thanks to it. Because, long story short, you probably are like late to run the videos recently. Some of you probably may have not seen it, or probably have seen it, but I did a video and a run in a stream where I was doing a Chris 80% with the infinite locker launcher. And it was pretty much a proud run I done. Also, I haven't showed this cutscene in my last run, so I'm gonna show it here. And it was pretty much a proud run, but I kind of actually had a very, very, very bad blunder during the run.
Jill?
Chris! You're alive!
Of course I'm alive. Jill, there's something big going down, and I don't think we're part of the equation.
I have to get you out of here. Ugh, it won't open. Wait, I'll be back to get you out.
Okay. No sightseeing, though.
But, yeah, back to what I was saying was... So, I did a Chris 80% run with the infinite locker launcher. Speed run with the infinite locker launcher. And it was a really good, proud run I was proud of myself for doing, but I kind of fucked up. Because... I did ran with I got the nitroglycerin, and after the second I got the nitroglycerin, got to this part here, the run, and I got the nitroglycerin, I actually forgot how many steps I had to run in order to have to reset the nitroglycerin. I mean, you can't reset it in the GameCube version, but in the GameCube you could reset it for yours, but however, whatever. I accidentally ran, and I forgot how many steps. I wasn't even looking at the screen, I think. I think I was, like, looking at chat, basically. I don't know, I ran, like, probably 10 steps or so, and ended up blowing myself up, basically. Because I accidentally had a less of concentrating to the run, and I blew myself up. Like, in this room here. Like, absolutely right in front of this whole area here. Just dead. I died. And I was so fucking embarrassed. And I was so fucking sad, because that was such a great run that was going so good so far. Yeah, I had some scrutiny, but that was a very fucking sad, depressing run at the end. So because that was a very sad scrutiny run, that just actually hurt me very badly, to the point I decided to just clarifying this point A here. October 1st, I am pretty much done speedrunning this game. Like, I'm not doing it ever again. Because I just fucked up my whole run. And that gave me such a adrenaline high and gave me so much anxiety after losing the run because of a lack of concentration from me being an idiot. So it's all my fault. But it's okay. Pretty much done trying to speedrun this game. So, yeah. So I'm never running without nitroglycerin ever again. Just fuck that shit. But after we put the full nitroglycerin, we're gonna put that in there. Run up into this room, and you can see how chimeras are just easy to just be idiots in this here. They're harmless. They're mashed buttons harmless. Turn the button on, and then we can leave. Pretty much. Picking up that next right there. So I can have that for the locker, so I can have the for super tyrant here, so I can make sure the run is still at its best with the insurance. But I took the run down, obviously. not a finished run, so can't really do nothing about it. Alright, but anyhow, for Super Time, just gonna have the lock launcher, have med spray, health, heroin, just have everything we can. What did I actually did during this boss, actually? Got it over with, pretty much. Pretty sure I went back to the other strats. Actually, no. Anyhow. Alright, so pass around. Super Tyrant here, you can see his shadow technically a little bit. Like, you can still see Super Tyrant's shadow a little bit, basically. Just a little bit. Like, you can see half of his shadow just in a little bit of a frame. You can actually see his shadow literally on the floor. And I don't even know what he's doing. Is he like turning around or something? Okay.
Barry! Barry! You're okay.
Jill, sorry. That was careless of me. Wesker.
He's gone.
First, let's just get out of here.
Alright, so we're gonna go fight Super Tyrant, but we have to go save Chris first, obviously. Just taking this pathway so we can avoid the chimeras and holes. Let's go all the way back here to save Chris. I actually forgot what I did with the Super Tyrant on health. Can I actually... Yeah, I went for the lead strat, actually, in this run.
Jill.
Sorry about the wait.
So everything's taken care of?
Well, almost. Now let's get the hell out of here.
There's some shotgun shells up in there, but we already have enough ammo for our budget.
personnel must report immediately. Deactivating and releasing all logs. The self-destruct system has been activated. All
So, how much do you care? So grab all the health you have and leave one inventory slot open in the ammo to go fight Super Tarn and Hellport, pretty much. But, yeah, I went for the weight strat, pretty much, for this run. So, basically, the way the weight strat works, in the past, I used to just straight up DPS Super Tarn as much as possible. But, what I did here is I go for the weight strats instead. Granted, however, Super Tarn is frustrating as fuck to fucking cheese on Hellport regardless, with the weight strat or not. But, you know, still went for it anyway because it is safe. But I'm gonna have to pause the game. I have to pause the game here so I can have the show enough time so I can like actually explain how the weight strat works. Basically, we start the fight of the boss on the heliport, and we wait literally a minute, 2 minutes or so, and we start the fight around like 50 minutes. No, not 50 minutes. We start the fight around 45 seconds or so. If we start the fight around 45 seconds, then Brad will drop the locker launcher on the heliport. He'll drop the locker launcher at 30 seconds. So, okay, so there's patterns you can get. So besides that, there's patterns you can get when you start the boss around 45 seconds. So one pattern involves around Barry getting grabbed and Barry not getting grabbed and he's just getting hit. Damage from Barry is unavoidable, but however, we rather get a good pattern in him getting hit. I'm gonna explain the bad pattern on how this will go out first. Actually, I'm gonna explain the good pattern first. I've been getting the bad pattern a whole lot recently, so there's not much I can do about it if I get it this time. I'm pretty sure I got it in this run. But, however, the good pattern basically first is Barry getting hit by the Super Tyrant. The second the fight starts, we don't attack Super Tyrant quite yet until he starts hitting Barry. Like, once he hits Barry, don't hit him. Like, once you see him not grab Barry and he decides to punch Barry across the room, slap him, throw him over, punch him. If he punches Barry, don't shoot him. Because he'll be fully aggro on Barry, and by doing that, you can get the best pattern right there, and you can track where Super Tyrant is at 30 seconds with the lock launcher once he drops it, and you can figure out where he's at by the blood on the floor, or Barry's blood, or Super Tyrant's blood if Barry decided to get up and shoot him, basically again. After that, that's the good pattern. The bad pattern is him grabbing Barry. If he grabs Barry, we're forced to shoot him, but we have to wait. We have to wait before we shoot him. We have to angle our shots, but we have to wait. We have to wait until we get around like 39 seconds, 37 seconds actually. Actually no, 39 seconds. 37 actually, never mind. 37 seconds is when we're gonna shoot Super Tyrant. He's gonna muscle his hands up before he kills Barry. But if we don't attack Super Tyrant at all, if he grabs Barry, then he's gonna kill Barry. Like, he'll 100% of the time kill Barry if he grabs him. That's why we want the good pattern, because the bad pattern is very inconsistent, and there's not much you can do about it. It's pretty ridiculous. But however, if he grabs Barry and stuff, you know, we have to wait until that optimal time in order to shoot him. So, because by doing that, we'll have him drop Barry, but what we'll need to do, because he'll be fully aggro on us, we'll have to hope for the best when Brad drops the locker launcher around 30 seconds, pick up the locker launcher and stand still, let Super Tyrant punch this around the room, and then after that we'll get up, we'll be in a position where we'll actually be able to cheese him, and we'll just knock him down with the locker launcher. That's basically it. And we have to use the Magnum to DPS him. Or you can use the shotgun, but the Magnum is faster. So get rid of him out of his hands faster enough. So that's why I have to pause the game just to explain that whole fucking thing right there. That whole thing, that is more than likely to just straight up fuck you over and not really happen correctly as you want it to. It's suffice it to say, the patterns you get is all up to RNG, but it's all up to frustrating RNG overall. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to get lucky. You have to throw locker launcher. As Super Tyrant, you just have to pray that Barry doesn't die, and you have to pray that you both doesn't die, because Super Tyrant decided to not cooperate and hit Barry across the room. And, you know, it's honestly RNG overall, so there's not much you can do about it. Sure are waiting. Do 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 do. Okay. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, have to hope for the best. And it worked. We got the good pattern. So, he hit Barry. So because he hit Barry, Brad will drop the locker launcher right about now. With all luck right there, that is basically right there what we can get. But, however, we gotta track where he is by the blood we see around the room, and pretty much, I just basically, while Barry's showing me the blood or where Super Tyrant is, I just got the best pattern ever in order to cheese Super Tyrant on the Hellport. Because he hit Barry, and I had to not shoot him. And the only shot I got from him was only just the locker launcher, and that was about it. I missed the shot, but the Barry helped me out with the blood, showing you where the blood track was. So it actually worked. So, as far as I'm aware, I'm probably sure that this is probably the first time ever somebody's pretty much gotten no save, no deaths in Resident Evil HD Remaster on Invisible Enemy Mode on Best Ending, which will 100% no deaths because we went for Best Ending and Barry and Hoking and Chris survived. Woohoo! Chill, go luck in Resident Evil 3 because you're gonna need us. It explains why Joe was so stubborn in Resident Evil 3 Remake. So, yeah. That is it. That is the run. Suffice it, to be honest with you, nobody actually really knows that this mode actually did exist in the main game. Like, hardly at all, but, you know. If you did find this run enjoyable and actually creative and cool, that I completed the run, just every enemy just being invisible. with no deaths. If you are interested in my runs just like this, well, not really runs like this, because I have not done runs like with enemies all being invisible, but if you are interested in my runs like this, I have plenty of runs like this. I have plenty of my no save, no death run lists of runs on my playlists you can check out on my channel if you like. If you feeling are pretty interested into it. Also, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that motherfucking bell. That shit ain't free. Also, make sure you like and comment and share and subscribe. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Also, if you are interested in my socials, I have Snapchat and Twitter. Twitter is my puzzle solution, where you tweet me for help on puzzles for games like this I have played. So if you need help on puzzles, then my Twitter is there to help out with puzzle solutions. Tweet me. And also, my Snapchat, you can check me out
Jill,
there
you did a fine job.
to hang out with my friends. Are you gonna do chapter 3? Yeah, I will, but I've already recorded a little bit of a lot of Friday the 13th content anyway, so I'll get down to that eventually when I get the chance. Right now I'm working on a little bit of busy things this month, so I'll get down to that eventually. So don't worry about that. Probably be expecting it by the end of the month, so yeah. Also, there was actually a little bit of something to mention here. There's actually a letter from, before you leave, there's actually a letter from the developer, Shiji Mikami. I think that's what his name is. I apologize if that's not what the developer's name is, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what his name is, I think. I'm pretty sure, because I could have sworn it was that, but however, this is the letter the developer wrote. I just noticed right now that the subtitles are actually in Japanese, because I was playing this in Japanese. But, however, there is the English version to this, because I put the Japanese subtitles to Japanese. Hold on a second while I translate it real quick. Okay, so I just translate a little bit with this, with the English version. So, alright, so bear with me if I mess up with some lines. Alright, so, thank you for playing through Biohazard. I imagine, thank you for playing through Biohazard. I imagine that you had a lot of good experience while playing through Biohazard. I salute you, my good friend, for playing through the game and enjoying the content that you have here. The pain of seeing the game over screen, the pain of finally beating the game, finally, for the first time. The instance of liking for your main character, basically, stuff like that. Like he's like saying through the dialogues, stuff like that. For like prologue, like he's like saying that you probably like really like had like a whole struggle and finally like beat the game after all that power and emotion and stuff like that. So basically, that's what like the developer is like explaining this letter, the way I'm translating it. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to read up on how this is going. But anyhow, next one says, all right. So for this next one, next file, all right. Still wish I had the rest of the English version. All right. So the way I capped up with the rest of it here is that he's saying that we believe. He's saying that we believe that the game development is more than just people helping out in the projects and stuff like that for these projects for the games like this. We believe that it's more important for players like you and all players that enjoy Biohazard to give off to give off like how much enjoyable the game is and how playable the game is, and keep playing it on how fun the product and how fun the game has been to people in their lives and stuff like that, how fun it is and how enjoyable it really is and stuff like that. And he says, as with his whole cast and his whole cast and stuff like that, and his whole team, have a team basically salute you for a job well done, basically, and thank you for playing Biohazard and stuff like that, Resident Evil. So yeah, basically, I hope I did a good job translating what this was, but however, you know, that's just me, kind of actually. But that was just a unique, good little Easter egg from the developer. Basically, I actually really enjoyed that. But however, he also showed off some good costume changes as well too. That was going to be a part of the director's cut. Also, this is like Chris and stuff like that, and Star's outfit. I actually like that outfit. Like he has like a whole tuxedo tie and the blue one on the top there. It's like Wesker or something like that. Too bad. Oh god. Yeah, just too bad, Wesker. And there's like Chris with a karate suit on. I actually would like to see that. I wish that was actually in the game, kind of actually karate suited Chris and stuff like that. He'd be like, "Waka!" on zombies. Hey-ya! Be like that'll be like funny. Also we got here is Jill with her. Oh yeah, that's Jill's like yeah, that's Jill's costume, the Sarah Cole costume in the game. Basically, that was not put in the director's cut. That was like added into the actual game. I'm pretty sure that was the one on the right was added in RE5 later in development. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I could have sworn that was there, but in RE5, I don't know. I don't think I actually know. It's been a while since I played that, but however, there's Sensei Jill here. Got Sensei Jill. I actually like the design of the costume that Jill has with her Sensei skirt. Actually, I like the. It's like a fanny pack or something. Like I actually think that's like actually marvelous looking. She's like, "Come to class on time." In the bottom left, upwards. And then we got like Jill with this like costume on and stuff like that. Like she looks like she's in like about to go out and stuff, and like oh, and also you got like this whole cowboy outfits going on here. Jill's like ready to, like that would be cool basically, like you know, like me fantasizing here for some reason. All right, it would be cool if Jill was like had her own had like another Resident Evil 3 game where she was out in the country battling horses like in Red Redemption. Battling zombies while she's on her horsey, like yeehaw, cowdy. I don't know, like oh my god, it's like giving me vibes here. I actually like giving me like Red Dead Redemption vibes here. Like she was like out in the country battling zombies and stuff like that. Be like yeehaw, ride it sound bit, yeehaw. I like these costumes. Yeah. And there's Rebecca's costume. I think that's like her costume on the far left. And then there's then there's like a different like costume basically, I don't know, like in the middle. And like there's like a Joel costume, obviously, of Rebecca, where it's pink and stuff. Oh, and there goes the added in future director's cut costume called Veronica. And then there's like a green version costume. And I think that one on the left was like an inspired one from, I don't know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Claire's outfit from Resident Evil 2. I don't know why, it just somehow reminds me of it a little bit, on what Claire's character in Resident Evil 2 was going to actually be. Beside that, it looks like the costume that Claire. Okay, so anywho, that's basically it looks like about it, pretty much. So yeah, pretty much that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed that run basically there. So yeah, see you all next time. Deuces.